Hi. Again.
Hey again. And hey again out there. This is Nicole Mitchell here with your spotlight interview for Inner Wealth today. And with me is Ravynn Rohner, like the Rhone River. And the Rhone River is a beautiful metaphor for who you are. It's deep, it's gorgeous, it's strong, and always moving. Yeah. Powerful. Um, Part of what makes Ravynn so powerful is her ability to transform herself and her places of pain. What she's been through and who she is all because of being willing to go into that shadow work and identify those places that need transformation, that are asking to be healed. Ravynn is on the media team for SWIHA, the Southwest School for Healing Arts, and she's also a transformative yoga coach and life coach. And she's here to tell us a little bit about her own journey and why her passion for life coaching has healed her and given her a calling to heal others in the same way. Hi, Ravynn. It's good to have you.
Hi. Thank you. So I got called out a little bit. If you watched the first video, I was told that was intellect and not passion. So we're doing a take two to add a little bit more detail
Yeah.
and I guess get real with it, right?
Let's get real with it. Because, Ravynn, your inner transformation was so powerful. And I had the honor of going into that journey with Ravynn a couple of times. And I won't share anything Ravynn doesn't want to talk about. Ravynn, you made me go to places where I healed and I connected with archetypes and the power of spirit. And I transformed. Because when you give a session, you get a session, right?
That's so true. I love doing life coaching with Nicole. She has the most intuitive abilities. When we get together, it is
Already crying.
I know. Already tearing up, but I think that just signifies the power of the work. So maybe I'll start with what brought me to SWIHA. I moved to Arizona in 2011. I was in my third or fourth year with fibromyalgia, which is a syndrome that attacks the nervous system and masks as whole body pain. I was on hundreds of medications a month, Xanax, painkillers, trying to subdue, trying to cover up.
Ravynn, I did not know that. I did not know you had fibromyalgia and that you were just managing. I had no idea.
Oh, really?
I thought you were just some kind of like roaring goddess on the scene. Hear me. And how did you show up every day in pain?
I didn't. I was in bed 22 hours a day when I got here. And I started taking a yoga class in Casa Grande with Deborah South McEvoy. And she mentioned SWIHA, that's where she got her education. And I said, oh, I think I went to that school a few years ago. I had taken a cranial unwinding class. And I thought that I would go and schedule an appointment with an advisor and check it out. So I ended up signing up for Mind Body Wellness. And within that, I did life coaching, polarity, and yoga. So I always say it was the life coaching that cleaned out the mental garbage. Yes. And then the yoga kind of helped facilitate movement. And then, of course, polarity therapy, which is a type of energy work in the same, under the umbrella of like Reiki. So Reiki, polarity, and cranial unwinding is all dealing with the human energy system. And so that's what begins to move the energy. My slogan is move the energy, you move the pain. The third piece to my puzzle was diet. I ended up going raw the third month of my program. And 4 months later of life coaching, polarity, diet, I was fibro-free.
Unbelievable.
The pain was gone.
What was that slogan you said also? It was so incredible.
Move the energy, move the pain.
Oh my gosh, guys. That is a clear message from Spirit. You know how Spirit sends things? Spirit sends things so simple, and yet so profound. That's how you know it's spirit. You know, God will use a lot of words.
That's how you know when you're out of intellect and into passion.
Ah, that was perfect.
Simplify, right?
Yeah.
And so then my yoga program started right after that, which is where we met in Laura's. I think you came in at the second module.
Third module, daytime.
Yeah, yes, I remember meeting you. I was like, I need to know that one. So disease and pain, not often, every time, it is the last manifestation of trauma, tragedy, or something unhealthy that hasn't processed in the right way. That can be mental, physical, spiritual, or emotional. And so if you think about fibro, again, this is my experience, it's pain. Well, had I been through painful things that I hadn't processed correctly? Definitely. So the process of my education at SWIHA is what began to break down those stuck parts in the body which mask this pain.
So may I ask you a question? You just said something really telling. You said there were issues in life that were in your subconscious, things that you dealt with, things, pains that you had been through, that you had processed, but not been processing correctly. Healthfully. So just like the fibromyalgia, where you were taking medication after medication and just trying so hard to get through a day and just spending as much time as you could in recovery and not getting anywhere. That was
treading water.
Exhausted. Ravynn, how did you shift that process? How did you actually change how you were dealing with your pain?
I think it starts with, do you want to? Are you ready? And I had somebody say this to me once, and it made me kind of stop dead in my tracks, and it was, well, I guess you just want to keep suffering.
That's so hurtful, and yet so honest. Do you want to change what you're doing?
Right.
Life coaching asks the hardest questions.
Right. That is the all about life coaching are the questions. You know, we don't tell anybody how to feel, or that's what's different between therapy or guidance and life coaching is you allow your client or yourself to just answer the questions honestly, be authentic. You'll figure out which way to go. You don't need anybody telling you what to do. Who wants to be told what to do? I mean, so when you're...
I do. Tell me how to do this stuff.
No, she doesn't. She's kidding. So, what was the question?
Well, to recap, you took and reevaluated how you were processing your pain, and life coaching gave you tools to change how you're processing it. And a lot of, for me, when I had my story, I was stuck in my story unhealed. I thought that if I got somebody else to see, just understand, just one time how bad it was, that I could be freed from the garbage of it. But person after person after person after person, after exhausted person that I came to beg to understand where I was at, became more and more withdrawn, more and more wore out with what I was saying. And I never changed. I was never able to move past my story. The way I was processing was unhealthy. And I knew I had to speak my truth. But something wasn't right. The way I was processing needed to change. And I found out for me, I was my greatest hindrance, and I was my greatest hero. I had the opportunity through life coaching to hold space for myself and hear my own story. And I began writing. And I hated this assignment, but I was given an assignment.
The old memoir.
Oh, the memoir story. I started writing, and 37 pages later, I went through birth to age 18 of my life, and I held space for myself, and I cried, and I shook, and I held on to the table, and I put my head between my knees, and I breathed, and I cried, and I sat back up, and I kept writing, and I held space for myself, and by the end of it, I felt heard, and I felt listened to, and I felt loved. And I didn't feel the need to run to the next person and tell them what I had been through. I have actually felt the need to go to somebody else and said, tell me your story. And now I have the freedom to show them how to process. When they're ready, they can tell themselves that story. So Ravynn, you learned a new way to process. How did you in turn your story into your platform, into your standing rock? How did you get on top of it and take control of your life?
I have a similar story. I remember I was in Polarity 2. It was Ether Day.
Ether, holding that space.
And it was the first time that I began writing down what's happened to me. And you know, if you haven't written it down, you forget, or you know, but they're floating memories, and then you begin to see this memoir of the things that you've been through, and you're like, wow, well, no wonder I have fibro, you know? So,
No wonder,
no,
yes.
okay.
No wonder I love casserole at 9:30 at night. No wonder.
And like you, I remember my process got shut down that day. It was perfectly shut down. You know, I was told not to really share the story, and I went home and I called my mentor, Jesse G. Shepard, and his wife, Carol Lee Ross, and I said, "Do you mind if I just read this to you?" I was heard, and like you, I heard it because I got to say it to myself. It's okay to share your story, but don't get caught in it, right? I think you hear the people go through their story over and over and over, and while it might seem annoying to somebody who's listening, you know, you're in month number 5 of life coaching, you're still hearing the same story from someone, but we really need to be compassionate and understand that they haven't been heard yet. Not by somebody else, they haven't been heard themselves because they haven't heard, or they haven't forgiven themselves. There's so much shame and judgment around sexual assault. I have multiple assaults in my past, and I even had somebody tell me, well, that's what you get. Because I had too much to drink one night, so that's what you get.
Oh my God, I would have just seriously crumbled and stopped talking and stopped trusting. How did you even move forward after that?
Probably was like, oh, he's probably right. And then just, right, we start stashing these thoughts
Yeah.
to the back. And so we can find ourselves in these same situations over and over and over because we're trying to heal something that can be lifetimes old, or perhaps a lesson from this life.
Yeah, and we don't actually realize that those people that are shutting us down have pain so violent inside themselves, they can't handle compassion for another being. Right. They can't go there. Themselves. That's all that means. That's about them, not about you. And so when you're in your place of pain and you're on your threshing floor, and you have an opportunity to transform that, what are the tools that we use, Ravynn?
Or imagine if you're watching this and you resonate, imagine if you could have these tools either for your own self-evolvement or
the life coaching tools?
Correct. Or you either do the work yourself, or if it's something you do want to share and help somebody else or guide somebody else to a place in their peace, imagine if you can do that. And that's what January is going to be all about.
In SWIHA, there's something happening in January for all life coaches who have graduated SWIHA, isn't there? People who have done the work, who have processed their inner demons, who have loved them into a place of being their best, dearest friends on the inside, and then have now come to a place where they're able to add compassion and remove those filters. They are effective life coaches because they can see the other person with eyes of compassion because they've had compassion on themselves. So life coaches are all welcome to start contacting Ravynn Rohner and the media team over at SWIHA because there's this new project happening. Let's talk about that.
Sure. So we're claiming January 2017, New Year, New You, as
I like
National
that.
Life Coaching Month.
Yeah.
So I'm the blog writer over at SWIHA. So I'm going to feature 31 life coaches, and each day of January, I'll be posting a blog. And so if you are actively doing this work, any way that that shows up for you in your life, you can add your name in the comment box, or you can message me on Facebook, or my email at SWIHA is Ravynn R. That's RAVYNNR at SWIHA.edu. Just tell me your name and that you're a life coach, and I will be sending out a mass email to all 31 coaches, a questionnaire. And it's just 4 or 5 questions, and then I'll be writing the blogs based on those.
Absolutely, because since you've done the work and you've applied yourself in this way, and you are now an instrument of transformation,
Source.
of source,
God, right.
of God, and not of ego. You are now effective and ready to shine your light. And we're at this moment putting a spotlight on all of you and inviting you back to say, we want to validate you. We want to have you show up so that we can, again, reach out and transform the world. SWIHA is not just about collecting those student loan dollars. SWIHA wants to change
This
the
is the
world.
vision. This is Casey Miller's vision of healing the planet one person at a time.
And we're definitely going to have the opportunity to host your story. And we want to know exactly what makes you so passionate about life coaching, whether you mix it with hypnotherapy, whether you're a caregiver for special needs individuals, whether you mix it with hypnotherapy or nutrition, or if you are literally bringing it into the workplace and you are somebody who holds space and shows up in difficult situations and allows others to see what compassionate, professional, and confident embodiment of spirit looks like. You are on a ticket. Come and speak with Ravynn and the media team. We'll put all the links up on this post. And again, I'm going to go ahead and on this webinar right here, I'm going to invite Ravynn to actually come and invite a few of you on and host spotlight interviews.
That would be amazing.
With some of you who have
2-3 minutes
stories.
Yeah, like
absolutely. Because this is something that you can share on your personal pages, on your websites, and really get the word out there and be validated in what you do. So, Ravynn, thank you for coming and holding space with me. And I'm so honored to be here with you right now. Please, guys, we're honored to be here for you. This is about you sourcing your inner wealth and helping others see their own light by owning their own truth in authentic and powerful ways. Right, Rav?
You got it.
Right.
And, don't forget that you don't have to be a hypnotherapist or in holistic nutrition to utilize this work. This is amazing for your families, loved ones. If you're a hairstylist, if you're a bartender, if you're in corporate America.
That's why I love getting my nails did.
Yes.
I love my nail tech.
This is work for every single person. I think if every single person in the world went through a life coaching program, what that would do. And of course, this can also be just personal work.
Yeah.
And
for massage therapists, for Reiki technicians, like
that.
Cody over here, our incredible
awesome tech guy.
Our tech and energy specialist over here. He's helping us out today. I'm telling you what, you are on the ticket. If you've been through life coaching at SWIHA, please contact. And if you're interested in going through life coaching, because it is viable for every walk of life,
no matter what you've been through, there is no story that is too crazy or too dark, or there's no shadow self too tall
that the river of spirit can't
the Rhone River of Spirit.
The Rhone River of Spirit can't wash into and cause healing. Guys, this has been an incredible spotlight interview, the most transformational yet. I'm so grateful to have you here, Ravynn.
Thank you.
And until next time, bless you. To the inner wealth in you, farewell for now.